Psalm 77:3 says, I remembered God and was troubled. I complained, and my spirit was overwhelmed. Selah. We're going to see thirdly how Asaph remembered God in his trouble. My mother's kitchen frequently smells of delicious things. A savory soup simmering on the back burner, sourdough bread steaming hot from the oven, donuts dripped in maple glaze ready to eat on the counter. Home-cooked meals were part of nearly every day's dinner when I was growing up, and all of us kids thought of my mom as the best cook around. But in the middle of her preparation, my mother's kitchen, even today, often looks disastrous. Mom calls herself a messy cook, but ask anyone in the family and you'll know the end result is absolutely delicious. Mom's messy kitchen reminds me of what our problems sometimes look like when we're trapped in the midst of them. In the middle of our difficulty, we often have trouble viewing the end God has prepared. We're like a pancake cooked on only one side, or a loaf of banana bread raw all the way through the middle. The end has not come, so the finished product of what is to be is not yet. And too often we judge a thing before it's time. We criticize the painful progress. We squirm with discomfort at the daily trouble, failing to look ahead to what will be forever. But if we will keep our eyes on the end, knowing the pain we feel now will not last forever, if instead of looking about us at today's disaster, we'll keep our eyes fixed on the kingdom of God, which awaits us in our forever future, then we can hope. The middle of one of my mom's cooking projects doesn't look like much, with the kitchen in disarray and flour strewn all about the countertops. But in the end, when the counter is back to its pristine shine and the table is set, the end is realized, and those seated at the table enjoy a dinner that results in them feeling fully satisfied. Then all those moments of labor are worth it, as sweet fellowship and delicious food are paired at another homemade meal. Here, Asaph is still in the midst of this dilemma. The mess is all about him. And when he remembers God, instead of getting consolation, he feels even deeper confusion. Psalm 77:3 again states, I remembered God and was troubled. I complained, and my spirit was overwhelmed. Selah. So firstly, we notice he remembered God and was troubled. Sometimes those unanswered questions loom within us, rising up as unsurmountable things. They threaten our thoughts. They cause us to doubt and question God. Although we factor him in, and although we seek to listen to his voice, to hear what he has to say, although we remember him in the middle of our pain, our troubled spirit cannot be quieted. Job felt this way. His friends didn't help his pain go away, and they didn't leave him with any sort of satisfying answers about God or God's reasons for how he had worked in Job's life. We can remember God, and to our undiscerning gaze, which sees only the underside of the quilt above, all appears as a tangled mess, confirming our hunches, adding pinpricks and sharp arrows of discomfort to our already sorrowful state. Our perspective of God, our lack of understanding of his perfect ways, this can trouble our spirit profoundly. Let's not view God solely as the key player in our life story, but may we see him as he is. May the rounded out character of our God greatly encourage our obedience and bolster our faith. Let's not view him only as we see him intersecting with our lives in what appear to us to be negative ways, and then we blame him for the mess we see around us, as it were. let's instead borrow faith's glasses and view our present circumstances in a way only He can help us to see. So that verse, I remembered God and was troubled, continues, I complained, and my spirit was overwhelmed. Selah. So we're going to look at that second part of the verse. Asaph complained, and his spirit was overwhelmed. Often when we complain, a sense of being overwhelmed descends upon our spirit, and we are troubled. Being overwhelmed has the idea of being faint or enfeebled. As we rehearse our complaints, our spirit, that immaterial part of us, which illustrates our thoughts and emotions, can clearly grow weary. We can feel our weakness. We droop and are troubled in our circumstances, if not outwardly, then inwardly. We view the world about us as a painful reality, and nothing seems to awaken our sensibilities to a faith perspective as we continue to utter our complaints. The idea of complaining is very interesting. It's one of meditating or musing on. So often when we complain, it's because we've rehearsed that thought pattern in our head multiple times. We've chosen to meditate on the negativity. Negativity in our circumstances or surroundings is plainly noticed. We think of it, and then we feel the inward pain that it brings. We've experienced frustrations, perhaps, as God has dealt hardly with us, and we muse upon the pain caused by those particular thoughts. Over and over again in our mind, we allow that negative feeling to spoil our faith-filled response until we, from rehearsing this sort of meditation, grow weary, faint, enfeebled. That verse ends with a Selah. Here, of course, is a pause in the music. It's time to consider what's just been said. So let's consider it. Let's remember it as we confirm in our minds unanswered questions, or as we rehearse pain in our brain. We actually set ourselves up to become faint, enfeebled, overwhelmed. Like you and me, like Asaph and others, David too felt this overwhelmedness. He says in Psalm 61:2, from the end of the earth will I cry unto thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. When we're feeling faint because of our complaint, let us echo the cry of David. We need God, who is stronger. We must have God, who is higher. God, who can provide perspective. God, who can strengthen in our weakness. God, who can assist us in our lives. Only He can lead us to Himself. Only He can give us that clear vision of the end. His kingdom is coming. His will be accomplished in our lives as it is in heaven. And instead of growing weary at our current situation and immediate surroundings, we can put our trust in Him. That verse again, Psalm 77:3, I remembered God and was troubled. I complained, and my spirit was overwhelmed. Selah.